certainly while a lot of artificial intelligence stuff is very funny, I find AI art quite often hilarious. The other side of that coin is horror. Pure, unfiltered horror. The recent release of Runway's Gen-2 AI allows you to type anything you want and have it be generated as a video. My delight quickly turned to fear. Let me show you what that looked like. It's pretty accurate. I typed selfie. Turns out selfie is the cheat code for things that you shouldn't see. So before I show this to you guys, and let me be very clear, I'm not exaggerating when I say these are easily the most unsettling things I've posted on this channel, to the point where sometimes the AI itself said, can't show you this. It happened at least twice. And there's at least one image that I'm going to blur for you guys because I don't know if YouTube will like it. All right, that out of the way, we understand? We're gonna start it relatively easy and we're gonna ramp up. So again, all I typed was selfie. So this isn't so bad, but there's something it's uncomfortable. I mean, if you look closely, this kind of appears to be a two-headed person. Like it's the same person, but they're definitely connected, just talking, saying something. Okay, like that's not so bad. This woman's mildly Angelina Jolie. And again, did this strange thing where it kind of made two of her, but it's almost like the right one's a reflection or something. Something about the eyes here, it's off. You know, there's something ain't right. This one is fascinatingly real, I find. It looks like this person's just going on a walk and just filming themselves. This person's just speaking in their office, almost on like a web call. Some kind of characters in the top right there. Once again, the eyes, they're so unsettling. That's the uncanny valley. Like, especially if it's a little blurry or whatever, right? This kind of looks real-ish, right? Like, you could pass this as being a real video, but as soon as those eyes open, I don't like it. This one, not so bad. The lighting makes me think this is from a film. I mentioned Angelina Jolie before, but this person is much more Angelina Jolie. But what I hate about this, again, is the fact that, you know, an AI is making this, and it's like the AI is looking at us, right? Like, it's like the fourth wall is getting broken here, and it's just her look up, right? It's, I know you're looking at me, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Here's footage what appears to be of someone just taking a selfie, right? It just feels like footage I'm just not supposed to see, right? Like this, you know, I don't know. This is weird. This one's weird because it flips. The more I'm watching, the more unsettled I am. I'm watching you, right? I'm not watching this. The AI is watching us, right? Like I don't even wanna, we're going to the next one. I don't like that. All right. Fasten your seatbelts because that was when I just typed selfie. I wanted to crank it up a notch. Wow, that was a bit of a jig. Crank it up a notch. Crank it up a notch. I typed scary selfie. Now, I'm sorry. I don't say I didn't warn you. I hope this isn't weird enough for YouTube to dislike this. This kind of looks like one of the characters out of Scorn, if you've played that game. It's alien and moist. It's like Gollum or something. Ah! All right, may the horror continue. From here on out, it's horrific. I didn't like that. We have a woman screaming. This looks like it's a shot out of the movie Wreck, if you've seen it, or it's like a handheld shaky cam found footage kind of film of like essentially a zombie kind of infestation situation thing. They look like this, like the mouth is too long and the zoom, the eyes. Back to this uncanny valley, unsettling. Everything about this shot is very unsettling to me. From the person kind of looking at us, but also almost just looking right past us. But to me, where I'm more horrified is the left. The negative space of this shot. I can see this as being the very ending of a movie, right? So I was talking about a handheld footage before. Say, you know, the movie ends by the main character dying. The camera rolls on the ground and you see this person scurry up and look like this. And then I'm just waiting for something to appear in the darkness there. How would you describe this? It's almost like an eye. Yeah, it looks like it's zooming out of an eyeball, sort of. Very strange. Here we got, once again, two heads talking. So, I mean, I guess this is a nice break from the usual horror, despite the uncanny valley of it. Is that a thumb? Right? Is that an arm? This person's just like horrified. It's like mildly claymation, which is weird. I can only describe this as like a vampire, right? Or a bat person living in a cave. Okay, this one just gets worse as it goes. It starts off not so bad. Very low lighting. On the right appears to be someone speaking, flicking their tongue up and down, but then the eyes on the left, how they come into focus and jiggle around. Yeah, little slow zoom here on this multi-mouth. It almost looks like it's a similar head shape that we've seen in a lot of these scary selfies. This person has 2 mouths and like 2 noses, so yeah, I don't like this one. I don't like this one at all. This one's fascinating. It warps around a lot, so let's slow this down a bit. At the beginning, we have a person screaming, right? We have the glow in their eyes. They begin warping to what appears to be a second person, and then a third person on the right, and then back to an initial position, but the white eyes there, which is pretty freaky, and that holds for a second before it warps again to another character eating something, and then back again to the screaming white eyes, and then this much more devilish character on the left with a glowing mouth. There's a lot to take in on this one, but it freaks me right out. Just the shakiness of it, like everything. So this one didn't really move much, and sometimes that freaks me out as well, because I mean, it's a very scary image, but you get the film grain, right? That is clearly a video, but that's it. That's freaky. This one also appears to just be, it looks like an animation, right? That's what makes it weird. Again, it's an uncanny valley. It's almost real, but it's not. It's something completely unnatural about it, especially those eye movements are so freaky. Yeah, this one kind of speaks for itself. So this one starts, and I'm not sure what I'm looking at, right? Is this a cave? Is it a tunnel? Is it a hallway? And then suddenly, it morphs into this person who's just like leaning against the floor or a wall. Oh, that kind of looks like Donald Trump there. We're back to the 2 heads, but this time they're fighting for attention of the camera. Take them out! I'm the real one! For this specific one, I did something different. I typed horror selfie. I'm really bad at saying that word. Horror. This one's pretty weird. Between the strange, jiggly, glowing mouth dude and the what appears to be a cell phone that kind of has a person stuck inside it who just presses their face up against the glass. What the heck? What is going on here? Also, this guy kind of reminds me of that character from Men in Black, when he was like, sugar, water, more. The guy who took over Egger, the Egger suit. This one's weird because look, sure, yeah, mouth's very strange and such, but then what kind of appears to be a mouth coming into the side, like, gimme kiss, coming for smooch. And he's like, no. Another close up of, I want to say eyeball. I mean, it's not what an eyeball does, so I couldn't tell you what we're looking at here. It's funny, we've seen so much weird stuff now that something like this is like, yeah, this is normal. This isn't that weird. And then we look at other stuff and we're like, oh God, yeah, this can get much worse. I don't like this one. This one's right out of a horror movie when these eyes seem to stare at you. I almost see this as 2 people, right? I see the person on the right speaking and like terrifying the person on the left, but then I don't think it's the same hair, like those are 2 different people. And then they're like the breaking the 4th wall and the texture on this person's face, like, oh. This just kind of highlights where it struggles, right? We've seen a lot of messed up noses before, right? The like quadruple hold nose there. And then while the one eye kind of closes normal, the other one doesn't really close, like the eyeball stays there, but still pretty interesting. This person has 2 noses, so the better to smell you with. I first interpreted this as a like finger, like pointing at the screen like this, but I mean, I don't think that's how finger do. This person just appears terrified for their life, but what I found funny was at the end, the very last like frame here, their eyebrows light up for some reason. Good look. I don't like this because I can't identify it. This is, what would you, oh, it almost looks like, a mouth opens or something and then a second mouth comes out, but then it turns to goo and that forms a whole new mouth? Fridays, am I right? This one really does look like a puppet. Like it looks like a Team America character. That slight shake and the slight movements are, yeah. Out of an abundance of safety, I'm blurring this and I'll describe it to you. What appears to be 2 mouths with sharp teeth on the left, and then on the right, also kind of 2 mouths, but much bloodier, and there's some hair. It really, I just got a bad feeling YouTube will not like this imagery. I don't know what it is, but it's not good. So this person's very scared, obviously, right? It almost looks like they're lying down, but what is going on with the rest of the image, right? Like, what is that thing? What is that? What are these ganglies? Double mouth person here. Turns into one mouth, kind of, sort of. Looks like their soul's being taken, though. Especially with this weird sheet passing by on the right. It's very ghostly. This one appears to be someone telling us something. What are you telling us? What do you want us to know? Their eyes start, like, popping out of their head at the end. I don't like that. Oh. When it has, like, this texture to the skin, it's a mildly claymation, right? And there's something very, very unsettling about that. So those of you who have traumatized, I'm sorry, but I also did give you sufficient warning about this one. At the end of the day as well, I think this is something that is worth documenting. As is a lot of the content I've created now in the past year, less, with how fast AI has moved, especially if you look at my old Mid-Journey stuff, you can just see and look at it and go, wow, things have come a long way. When I type scary selfie in a year's time, what are we gonna get? We'll find out, won't we? This whole video was created with new stuff, right? Like, this is all unseen. That, to me, is fascinating, amazing, but again, horrific. That's scary. That's so scary to me. If you enjoyed these long form videos, stare intently at that like button, then press it. And as my grandpa always said, don't stare too deeply into the fourth wall breaking Gen 2 AI generated image, for it stares back. Later.